okay.
Dune David, good to go?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, let me know when.
Now.
Okay, thank you. That was excellent. Well done.
You told me to let you know what.
Asshole! Alright, so jumping back into it with one additional person here. Welcome, David. / welcome. Alright. Now, last we had left off, you guys had made your journey back to the broken wasteland that was the territory, the home of the brass dragons, to hopefully track some down and bring back in one form or another their patriarch. You managed to find some of the brass dragons that had been hiding away, and you made your way back, defeated a colossal vulture, completed the ritual to bring back Drim Talon, the ancient brass dragon, except not so much an ancient brass dragon anymore, as he was reincarnated, thanks to Elevorn, as a halfling. So there's that. Seemed a bit off, a little bit odd, coming back into some physical form, but you had a conversation, and you were given the equation for a teleportation circle. One that they said, don't use yet, we'll reach out, let you know, and then, at a later date. Afterwards, you guys made your way, traveled via wind and plant back to Metchroma, the capital of Draconia. And over the next few days, working with Vos and the members of the Draconian government, you set up time and place to use your magic, Elevorn, to assist in bringing the Airlesian elite over to Metchroma to sit down and have discussions and speak with the leaders and council of the diarchy to basically get this alliance moving. Almost a week passes in which you all do your shopping, make some potions, as well as other recreational and downtime activity as you wait for the talks between the Airlesians and the Draconians to conclude. So, that's about where we are. You've done all of your shopping, and the four of you, as well as Svengrid, are basically on standby. When you get a guest, well, not a guest, finding you in the inn that you had been staying is Captain Adriel, who basically is going to ask to speak with all of you in some place a little more private. And that's where we'll jump back into it. Sitting down in a room away from any of the other patrons, you guys get comfortable. You have drinks, food if you wish. The captain sits you down and begins to speak. The Admiral extends his gratitude for the work that you've done thus far and hopes that you will continue to serve in accordance with the oath that you had taken to his radiance. Now, to business. We're all adjusting to new environment and our new roles here. the Draconian Group Joint Council of Advisors, if there any indication of the regions which they support, it seems like there is much that they disagree on. However, one thing that they seem to agree on is that a priority in dealing with the situation that we find ourselves in is the defense of Metchroma and her people before any thoughts of counteroffensives against the children of the Scourge. And that seems to be their opinions for the most part. There is one advisor that seems to be looking beyond towards the future, that is working on plans and establishing a road forward for when we are all ready to hopefully take the fight back to these dragons. And that would be an advisor, Night River. He is one in charge of the espionage and intelligence gathering for the diarchy. And he proposed the use of a small yet elite group for, well, some intelligence gathering. And upon him saying that, we felt to propose to offer your services. That way, it can be said that the Empire is more than willing to aid its allies on the front lines in more dangerous undertakings, and we can also have, well, eyes and ears on the front lines as well. What say you?
We'll do whatever is necessary, whatever is believed to be necessary to protect the people and stop these children of the Scourge.
Well, one of the major concerns is that ever since these children of the Scourge made their move, the diarchy's all but been cut off from those on the wing. Their cities, their people, all been pushed back to this side of the continent.
We noticed something along those lines. If you mean trying to establish any type of form of communication, there seems to be some sort of block to anything exterior.
Oh, we've noticed that when trying to reach out back to the Empire, yes, as we discovered on the seas, but, well, they're speaking one more conventionally, too. Well, I'm not sure how familiar you are with the lay of the land. I've just had the few days of endless, seemingly, talks that I was a part of. But the wing, one of the two major land masses here in Draconia, the one that was previously dominated by chromatic dragons and dragonborn before the two civilizations made their peace about 20 years ago and moved the capital of their new joint government to Metchroma. Well, it is also the home to chromatic dragons, the birthplace of the children of the Scourge. And when they decided to rise up and make their move, it quickly fell out of the grasp of the diarchy. They were able to retreat back to Metchroma and to this side of Draconia and make their defenses and stands here, even though some dragons from that side have very well made their presence felt here. However, if we are to push forward, we're going to have to establish a route back to that side, establish communications once again with those still over there. And as it seems now, travel across the channel by boat is more dangerous than it's worth. There is a path that can be taken to get there by land, but it is a notoriously dangerous one. And it is that path that Advisor Night River had sought to establish, essentially. So, the short of it is, we need you to travel to the town of Talendor. There is a member, an agent of Advisor Night River, who will meet with you and further brief you on what it is that they would have you do. And of course, if you were to stay in contact with us and inform us of, well, anything that you find that might help, or if you find yourselves in need of assistance, we would ask that you do so. From what they say, it's quite cold down there, drastically so. So make provisions accordingly.
I've noticed it's been getting a bit nippier. But cold
what they say is,
down? That's a bit strange.
So, he gives you the general path to take towards Talendor and goes over that with you guys. Let me see, do I have my...
The map!
The map!
The map.
Map. I'm the map. I'm the map.
It's pinned in here. There it is. I have it. I'm looking at it.
No, you're not. You're not looking at anything. Sure.
Now I'm looking at it twice.
Okay. So, y'all be here. Talendor is like way down here.
Okay.
So, what he said was the wing, aka this whole landmass here, that used to be where the Chromatic Dragonborn's kingdom was. This side was the Metallics. They would, fight each other, all that. 20 years ago, they made an alliance, became one unified country. But when the Children of the Scourge rose up, they did so here. And then began to move their way across. So that side where, Era's sister is and all of that is in very much chaos. Crossing the water proved too dangerous. And so there's this area here. Where a land crossing would be possible. And so you are to go to Talendor, speak with this agent of Advisor Night River, and figure out exactly what it is you need to do.
Okay, well, is the agent expecting us? Because I had to track down I tracked down an agent before, but it was kind of a lot of work. So I don't want to be, chasing someone to,
Yes. He reaches into his petticoat and takes out a sealed letter. This would be for you. It is sealed with Night River's own seal. So,
And I mean, honestly, it was kind of, a mistake. I mean, if I had known who they were, I wouldn't have. But anyway.
So, head out whenever you are ready. The sooner the better, though. As soon as we can verify that a route back to the wing is possible, the sooner we can begin to make provisions and preparations to make that crossing ourselves with significantly more men and women.
Is this after all the stuff that we said happened yet, or is this like we just got back?
This would have been after, as they were in talks with the
okay.
Empire.
Sorry.
And the Dark. You were in talks for a few days. If there's something that you wanted to do, though, just let me know.
No, I just for thematic reasons, the rush that I would have.
Yeah, it's been about a week or so since you got back from the thing with Drim Talon.
Okay, so I think we've had the luxury already of going around the city for a while now. We probably are ready to go as quickly as possible.
Very well. I'll leave you to it then, and good luck.
One more thing, actually.
Yes.
Do you because you mentioned it's dangerous. Now, I'm just trying to be a bit more, I guess, prepared. Do you know of anything that you may have heard of that we might be able to...
Specifics, I'm not familiar. I would imagine that Night River's man would be able to brief you more on the details of that, as
yes,
it seems he's been there for a while.
That makes more sense. Maybe well, he's a hard man to get a hold of, actually.
Well, it's not Night River himself you're speaking with, it's whoever he's got down in Talendor.
Well, before we went, I wanted to see if maybe there was something we could find on the journey, some information, rather than just going in blindly.
Well, if you're willing to wait around, I could see if I could find anything.
What time of day is it?
When he comes to find you, it's morning time.
We would probably want to leave while we still have sunlight if we're leaving by today, so if it's possible within a timely manner, then sure, but...
If anything, I believe that some of the Draconians are working towards, now that they've established that Drillheim is safe, they've been working on ferrying materials back and forth, and I do believe that some of the Phoenix Academy are scheduled to arrive today as well, so if anything, we could reach out via them to you while you're on the road.
That sounds like a good idea, yeah. If you could just... some mild information of what we might come across.
Absolutely. Alright, so, are you guys ready to head off? Is there anything in Metcoma that you wish to do still?
Could I have met them during the week that I was here at the Scholar to learn just a bit more information about dragons?
The advisors and the Empire were in talks the whole the week.
That's fine. Okay. So just curious. And the Phoenix Academy are arriving today.
Yes.
I guess just note that I would message either the Phoenix Lanissa or my sister in between, just to kind of check in on them during that week.
Okay.
It'd be the only other highlight. But yeah, other than that, I'm good.
Gotcha. So there are times when you don't get responses from your sister, but then there are times that you do, and her story is basically the same. Decided to their plans had changed from moving towards the coast and crossing over to Metchroma because of, well, the reasons that you had just heard. So they've been, finding small villages to stay in that seemed out of the way, non-suspicious, like no concern to dragons or anything like that, just small villages that they could survive in for the time being until they figure out their next move. So, Neredian, Daran, Dehera, Elavorn, are you ready to venture forth to Talendor?
Yeah.
Da.
No?
Yeah.
Ah.
No, yeah.
No, yeah? Yeah? No? Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah? No? Yeah? Okay. So, on your way out, you hear a voice that sounds as if it's coming from right behind you. You finish up your shopping for food, and you're, after being informed of, the weather, your cold weather clothing, and you get all of that, and you're ready to go, and you're heading towards the main gates of Metchroma when you hear a voice behind you. Hello, hi, welcome to Draconia.
Well,
Hello.
Elavorn, you say that, and you spin around, and you notice that nobody's there. At least, not immediately. You're a little bit confused until you look further, and you can see that there is someone about a block away from you that is smiling and giving you a nice wave. A cheerful-looking blue dragonborn with a thin frame, cloth robes, and behind him, looking stern and a little bit perturbed with pursed lips, is Lanissa in her Phoenix Academy garbs. You still hear the voice as he's coming up. You can see the lips moving. The voice itself, though, sounds like it's coming from mere feet in front of you as he's making the walk up. It's like, I know it's a bit belated, and you're on your way out, but I just had to catch you for a moment of your time. Which of you, and at this point he's come right up to you guys and is looking over you, which of you is the one that commands nature?
I'm gonna point at Elaborn.
same.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say command, but what?
He's being
just-
modest.
Well, I just, yeah. Well, it's very impressive, and I'm sure practical what you do. I would have to impress upon you I have to ask that you don't use that magic to come within the walls of the city anymore. It's a safety thing, you understand. If you wanted to teleport with a tree or anything from outside of the walls, that's perfectly fine, but, just request that. I'm sorry. I have not introduced myself. My name is Advisor Tempest.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks. It's just a matter of safety for the city, although we don't believe that you pose a threat, if someone were to follow in your wake and bypass all of the guards and defenses that we have put her into protecting the city, it would kind of consider that all null and void, right? So, just going forward, please.
Seems reasonable.
Lanissa behind him takes a deep breath and kind of just sighs. You can tell that she doesn't seem too happy at the moment. She acknowledges you very briefly with a slight nod, Era.
I see you've arrived safely, presumably.
Safely, yes. It, if not a bit unexpected. Advisor Tempest here found me in Drillheim earlier this morning, and we had since traveled here via, well, his knowledge and teleport spell. You're aware of that? Yes, and, well, saw you here about to leave and recognized you. Before that, me and Grand Transmuter's assistant, Lanissa, here, were just getting to know one another. It's a mouthful, huh? You Imperials really do like your titles.
Well, some of them way heavier than others, I suppose.
Yes, and if you've delivered the message that you need to, Advisor Tempest, I feel like there's not much time we should be wasting on casual conversation. You could see the smile drop from Tempest's face for just a moment. And then it returns as he turns to Lanissa, just completely away from you guys. And like, I'm aware circumstances are dire, but you should be excited. You're in Draconia, the birthplace of magic. There's so much for you to learn here. You can see Lanissa's none too pleased. But all in all, she is not wrong. So I'm sure we will be seeing you again.
There is a time and place for everything, Era. Correct. We should probably head out. But, my title's pretty short. I didn't properly introduce myself. I'm just Era.
Era.
Belle.
Looks to you and looks to Lanissa and yeah. I recognize a fellow weaver of spells, fellow arcane enthusiast when I see one. I'm sure we'll be getting better acquainted on your return. Should you be returning.
Well, certainly not through a tree.
Well, not through a tree within the city. That's it. There's plenty outside of you. Well, it was nice meeting you all. Let us go, Grand Transmuter's assistant. And they walk past you.
Goodbye.
Advisor.
So, as they walk off, you can hear Advisor Tempest talking to Lanissa. Very much, in a loud, chesty voice. He's not trying to hide it from anyone. So, where is the Grand Transmuter? He's like, I'm not saying you're great. I would just hate for lives to be lost because the Elysians have sent their second best. I just realized the irony of being told I'm not taking the situation seriously enough by the Empire's version of good enough. Come now, laugh, that's funny. And at this point, they're a bit further away.
My jaw.
How could
Oh my.
Could I use the wand of tummy troubles on
You want?
Yes, please.
What's the saving throw? You're gonna take out the wand?
Probably Constitution. I mean, you didn't make up a thing.
Constitution, but it probably has a DC built in, right?
2 on the tummy troubles.
Okay. As he's walking away, you take out the wand and expend a charge and point it at him. As he's saying this, you notice as he's walking away, he just reaches down and puts a hand over his stomach. His gait shifts from a more jaunty long stride. It shortens up a bit, but from the distance, it seems to have taken some sort of effect.
I know Dragonborn tend to be proud, but he might be a bit full of himself. A Dragonborn wizard. Interesting.
It was a bit amusing.
As Era picks her jaw back up off the floor, I guess.
Don't worry about them. I mean, you're amazing. You know that.
I wasn't expecting that, but thank you.
Rogueskern is so different in comparison. What a fine fellow.
Okay, so after that little encounter, you guys continue off. Begin the journey towards Talendor. How are you planning on traveling? Are you traveling as wind, on foot, what? Are you going to Windwalk? Just that would be up to you guys, but Elevorn, if she has it prepared, mostly.
I do have it prepared. I really don't. I can't think of any reason why we wouldn't. But if there is a reason, then, you know.
A scenic route. Let's just buy a cart and horses or something.
Right? Take it back to the olden days of travel.
Yeah.
Went from, let's get out of here, we've rested enough, to, we could afford to take the scenic route.
Can we though? Can we?
No.
Okay,
Alright,
cool.
so wind it is. Alright, so you guys...
Well, I mean, we could fly on, like, eagles or something instead, if you guys want to do that. Doesn't all have to be windwalking.
If we were in less dire circumstances, I would be more for that.
I'm honestly down with any way of traveling.
Alright, so you guys get a little bit of the ways outside of the city, gather around, and Elevorn, you cast Windwalk. You guys take to your mist form and begin to head southward towards Talendor.
Wait, is there enough targets? Wait, can Gildy be affected by Windwalk? Yeah.
How long does it take you to... It doesn't... No reason. Why not? Sure. And also, are you guys... Do we have the Griffin and the Tressum or no? You would have had the chance to get them back if you wanted to.
Yeah, I would have my trust him.
Yes, Valvier is here.
Alright.
I don't know how many targets can Windwalk.
8.
Okay, so then we're fine.
Do we have Sven, or
that.
is he staying?
You do have Sven, yes.
Wait, are we fine now? Now that makes me... 1, 2, 3, 4.
You're okay. Yeah, you have... With the Griffin, Tressum, and Gildy, that's exactly 8, in addition to you guys. So, as wind, you travel southward out of the immediate area of Macroma, past some of the edges of the Brass Dragon's land, and into unknown and yet untraveled by the four of you territory. The air, as you travel an hour or two in, getting miles and miles away, immediately becomes, you can feel the cold beginning to set in. Not enough to affect you in any way, but it's definitely getting colder a lot quicker than you would expect. You pass over the road you're following in the air. You can see that there are carts that have been broken and abandoned. Looks like some small villages where you can see a few people on occasion. Some villages you see that look completely abandoned. By the time you get about 4 hours into your journey, it has begun to snow. By the time you get to 6 hours in, the actual cold of the environment and you guys being as wind and the speed that you're traveling, it's starting to get a little bit painful to you. You could continue if you wish, but it would require a check from each of you, so that's up to you guys. As the cold is starting to sting.
Would you say I have the effects of the chainmail as my wind form?
Are you attuned to it?
No.
No? Well, still, yes, it's...
As long as it's not negative.
Yeah, it's not. So you would be fine, and Svenkrid is also fine because he's a silver dragonborn.
Ooh.
Yeah, he's the cold flavor of dragonborn. But those of you without any sort of magical or natural cold resistance, you don't get the benefits of your warm weather clothing when you're wind. Or of your cold weather clothing, rather, when you're wind. So either make a choice or discuss it or something.
I mean, I'm unperturbed.
Well, I could use my elemental wreath, right? Which would make me resistant to cold.
Yep.
Probably just roll.
Alright, so you're keeping going?
If everyone wants. Can we? Can we Is it difficult to also see? Is it it's not blizzard, right? It's just
It's not blizzard. No,
okay.
It's not a blizzard.
It's that idea when it's cold and you're riding bike.
Oh yeah,
It's
except
colder.
you're riding a bike at 30 miles an hour.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my.
You're on a motorcycle.
Mm-hmm. Basically. But what?
Would wind feel cold?
I mean, we don't have skin right
Yeah,
now.
would wind feel cold?
Ah, right. You guys are immune to cold and heat and all that stuff.
So we're
I don't-
Gucci?
As wind, right? Isn't that a thing?
I was just thinking about it. I don't know. It's fine.
Does
Yeah.
it? I don't
Yeah,
know.
well,
Wind
it is.
do you not have? So you can't tell. Yes.
Let's look up the wind.
Wind does feel cold.
Wind feels cold. Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
it holds moisture. So if the moisture in the air, the wind that we are, begins to get cold,
Okay, stop it.
we could.
Stop. You feel cold.
No.
Give me a
Well,
second
I
here.
was
We can
saying the
lawyer
water
this.
would- No,
Got him.
Hold
We got a
on.
case.
Science. We have keys. Get the
The water
weatherman.
would cause us to feel a difference in temperature.
Where's
because
the
there would be
meteorologist in the party?
moisture, right?
Right? God. Why can't we pick a meteorologist? Brought a weatherman with us.
We're gonna turn
That's
into
what a green mage.
snowballs.
That's green mage actually.
That's what he's gonna call it. He's gonna call it meteorologist. Here we go. I'm calling it right now.
That's like the geoman instead of geomancer, it's meteorologist.
I'm gonna lose my mind. Okay. Well, Duranda's very out of sight, out of mind kind of thing. I can't feel the cold, so I'm not making a conscious decision against it. So if somebody would bring it upon their concern that they are feeling cold, then I would care. But it's not bothering me, so I can't care.
We're just gonna turn into snowballs.
if you guys push through to the end of it, you could pretty much get to Talendor, I'd say, with the speed that you've been traveling.
Con save.
That would be about 2 more hours.
On fail, turn to snowball.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Is I think that we should maybe just make the check because I think we're all like in a hurry, you know. And then like, if it goes really bad, maybe we'll stop. You know, somebody's like incapacitated or something. You know?
So we're rolling.
Okay, so that would leave
Should have made
Meridian and Era to go ahead and make Constitution saving throws.
Con saves.
My God.
6.
Okay.
Would
That's
we say
probably
she
fine.
can add a 2 to that?
No.
Fuck.
I don't think that, like, it's...
Use the wind to block the wind.
No,
Yeah.
it's the aura of protection. Plus.
There's one, you guys are, like, traveling, but you're also not gonna be... This is for, like, an hour of travel, right? And that's a 10-foot thing. Like, you're not gonna be within 10 feet of her at all times. And it's more for spells and effects and stuff, not... You feel less cold because I'm around. Like, that's...
Maybe. Look, Bahama works in strange ways.
Yeah. Okay. And Neridion?
21.
Alright, Neridion, you're fine. 6, Era, you take a point of exhaustion.
Oh no, I'd rather. She should just take damage.
Nope. Can't we just say damage? Can't it just kill her instead? I could deal with that. I can't deal with exhaustion.
I can't. I don't have anything to deal with exhaustion.
Mind over matter, baby.
Okay.
We'll just let her nap once we get where we need.
So, you have another hour until you're about there. Do you want to continue?
Fuck yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Alright, so Era has disadvantage on ability checks at this point.
Yeah,
not
so now
saving throws or anything like that.
2 rolls. Take the
Alright.
lower number.
No. Not saving throws.
Not saving throws.
Just ability checks. So if she tries to, I don't know.
I added the exhaustion thing,
Hold
so
on.
it should reflect.
Remember something.
My God.
Alright, so Neridiana and Era, again, please, a Constitution saving throw.
Not that good this time, 7.
14.
Okay, Era, you're fine. Neridian,
Yes.
you take a point of exhaustion. Alright, so
My turn.
as you're going, as you continue and as you approach the town of Talendor, the snow has picked up a little bit, as has the wind. At this point, the entirety of the ground that you can see is covered in a layer of snow. You can see where carts and people have traveled on the road as the wheels from the carts and their footfalls are printed in the powder. But you can see the buildings, mostly wood, some stone, on the horizon. You can also... no, that's all you can see for now. you guys land, and you can, if you want, you can take the time to turn corporeal again as you stand at the edge of the town. Era and Neridion shivering a little bit noticeably. Although you guys do immediately feel a bit better as you turn back into your forms that can be wearing this, your heavy clothing to keep you a little bit warm at least. All right, so you guys are in Talendor now. What are you doing? There are people walking around, although it is coming up on sunset. The light from the sun is a bit low as there's an overcast of gray clouds in the sky. You don't have a direct view of the sun, but its light being filtered through the snow clouds makes its way down. And you are a bit shocked at the drastic difference in weather change from where you had been just 8 hours ago. Most of the people walking around at this point in time appear to be guards or soldiers of some sort. You don't see anyone that appears to be the average citizen upon first glance. And as you approach the edge of the town, you are actually stopped and approached by a pair of these guards who walks up to you. Both of them dragonborn, one green, the other one bronze. Hold on there, travelers. What brings you to Talendor?
Well, we're kind of just passing through for the most part.
They look at each other and back to you. Passing through to where exactly? Ain't much past Talendor. Not unless, well, you've got a death wish.
Me being outside is a death wish. I'm freezing and I'm tired, and I would really like a place to sleep in, if that's possible.
Well, we could... You seem still to be alive and well enough at the moment, but we can't just let anyone in here, especially ones, well, as obviously outsiders as you are. We don't get many travelers down this way, and for good reason.
Do I have the letter?
One of you certainly does.
Please?
Could whoever has the letter read it?
Should I break? Isn't there like a seal on it that I shouldn't break?
There's a seal, yeah.
Should probably not break it. Maybe they just know it. Well, I have this letter here, and I'm supposed to deliver it to someone. Show it.
Take out the letter, and they look at it, and flips it over as sees it. The green dragonborn looks over, and that's the seal of Night River. They must be here for Lord Feng.
No, you're familiar?
We thought to visit her, but one of Night River's someone who works for him took up residence here. Couldn't have been 3 weeks ago. And they've been, if Lord Feng wishes to speak with them on what Lord Feng has been doing, then that should be him. That does so. We can take you to his place of residence. I'm sure that he would like to get this as soon as possible.
I'd appreciate that, yeah.
All right. Stay close. And he turns and begins to walk and leads you into Talendor as the Green Dragonborn stays stationed at his post on the outskirts of the town. Walking through, the architecture, the feel of this reminds you more of a small town village in the Empire. Basic architecture, serviceable shelters, nothing at all like the Metcroman architecture, which was very distinct and had a very foreign feel to many of you. This just seems like something that you would expect to see wherever. People putting 4 walls and a roof to shelter them from the elements. The snow crunches beneath your boots as you continue and follow further into the town of Talendor, where you are led down, make a couple of turns down some roads until you see a plume of gray chimney smoke coming from a wood and stone building, 2 stories tall, and outside of which is guarded by a couple more Dragonborn. The Dragonborn that's been escorting you approaches them, shows the letter, and it seems Lord Feng has some guests. They examine the letter, see the seal, look up to the 5 of you, nod, and within a few minutes, you are brought into a very simply furnished, what looks like a 2-story lodge type of building. The furnishings are all simple, serviceable. Era, Netadion, you find yourselves immediately attracted to the roaring fireplace in the living room area. Getting the feeling back in your extremities is a little bit painful at first, but very nice overall, as you two are still quite exhausted. You hear a few voices coming from up the stairs that travels their way down. You can hear them through the floors and walls, but it's muffled and you can't really make out the words, but you do hear 3 distinct voices. And without the letter coming back down, the Dragonborn informs you that Lord Cirrus Fang, he will see you now up these stairs in his office.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
So, you make your way up the stairs and through a pair of double doors into the office, where in this dimly lit room, there's a few candles that are lighting his desk. The window behind him is open with the curtains drawn, but not much ambient light is making its way in. At first, you see what appears to be a Dragonborn, but then, upon closer inspection, as your eyes adjust to the dim light of the room, you realize that it is a mask. Somewhere between dragon and Dragonborn in its features. The letter is open and reading it, and he seems to be reading it, and you can see the hands are well, definitely not that of a dragonborn. Either human, elf, half-elf, something in that spectrum. And sitting...
You're Lord Vayne, I presume?
I am, yes. Please come in. I am sorry, I was not expecting you. I do not have proper seating in this place here, but we all need to make do. Yeah. Also in the room is another individual, a half-elf with silvery white hair and blue robes, who's sitting kind of quietly off to the side right now, eyeing you up and down.
That's fine. We can do without the pleasantries for what we're here for.
Indeed. Indeed.
We didn't actually read what's in there. Is there some sort of instruction for us?
Less instruction for you and more for me, from Advisor Night River.
Understandable.
Well, it briefly goes over in here, each of you, who you are, so nothing seems out of sorts there. But as it seems as I am little acquainted with you, as informal as this is, I will, and he folds up the letter and places it on his desk, at least do you the honor of introducing myself. I am Lord Cirrus Feng. I have been one of Night River's informants, agents, servants for, well, it would be 3 Night Rivers now.
Oh. There's 3 Night Rivers?
Well, before this current Night River, there was a different one, and before him, there was another.
Oh,
Night River is...
title.
Yeah, Night River is a title.
Yeah. I see.
Wait, does that mean that Tempest is a title too?
Yes. One of the advisors.
Right, he mentioned something about Imperials and their titles.
How dare he? Okay.
Nonetheless, that's fine. Well, I'm sure if Night River can trust you, then we can trust you equally.
Well, I'll get right into it, as it seems you all have the marks of a hard journey about you, and actually, Astalos, would you mind rounding up something warm for our guest, please?
Yes, Lord Feng. Right away.
He nods. The mask itself, and partially unable to see the eyes or any sort of facial features, but he does a lot of hand motions and gesturing, and appears grateful to the half-elf who now gets up, walks past you, and you can hear his footsteps trailing off down the stairs as he leaves the room. Well, as I'm sure that you're aware of, at least that you need to be here, but the why seems to have been particularly left out. This place, this town, Talendor, back before the merger of metallic and chromatic societies, was used as a sort of forward operating base for the metallic armies, as two large bridges connect both the body and wing via Frostbreath Island. It is Advisor Night Rivers and my own hope that we could utilize that path and those bridges to once again traverse to the wing. In the times since peace was established between our two nations becoming one, those bridges fell out of use, as it was much easier to simply take boats across the channel in areas where the weather is much more agreeable. And so it seems Night River has sent you to me to be utilized in this task of traveling to Frostbreath and ensuring the path from here to the wing is free of dangers. And it seems like the task is simple as that. You are to cross. He wishes you to cross the Base Tail Bridge, make your way to the Base Wing Bridge, ensure that both are in good enough state to be utilized by the armies of Draconia, and the path safe enough to traverse. When we get news back that it is, if it is, we can begin preparations for reclaiming control over Wing.
I imagine it's anything but simple. If the guards or the soldiers earlier, if there's any weight to the words that they said, you shed a little bit of light on why they mentioned that passing through was a death sentence.
At this point, the half-elf returns with a tray of hot tea. A nice teapot, basic kettle with mugs for each of you. You guys pour your own tea, those who want it. Brings it over, and Lord Feng pours one for himself and also one for you, Astalos. Thank you.
I'm gonna sniff the tea.
You gonna sniff the tea?
Yeah, I'm gonna sniff the tea.
Right.
But mostly just for, what does it smell like? Yeah, the aroma.
Please, I insist you have some.
Thank you. Astalos, was it?
Yes.
Thank you. I'm Durand, by the way.
Pleasure to make your acquaintance, Ron.
Swig it down. How is it? How is this man's tea-making ability?
It's scalding hot.
It is a touch bitter, but not unenjoyable. It seems that way by the nature of the tea itself. It's a little bit bitter, but it's not overbearingly so. It's more herby than anything is kind of the feeling that it gets. Like the scent of and the feel of the tea stays in your senses even after you have taken a swallow of it.
It is that way of design, I suppose, then. It's not to taste good, it's to feel good.
Yeah, basically. Like the taste itself is honestly not that great, but like the sense and senses that linger in your mouth and like your sinuses, that's the part that's really enjoyable.
Ella?
Elthorn takes a cup, and then she's holding it in her hands, and she's like, "Thank you." And all of a sudden, she has a big giant squirrel tail, and it's swishing around behind her because she's so happy to have a cup of hot tea.
Ella.
Yeah.
Do you happen to have any honey, maybe?
Sugar or something.
Oh, I have this. And I take out a pinch of sugar and put it in hers.
Thank you. It's otherwise pretty good, yeah, but maybe a bit bitter, so maybe this will help.
All right, so as you guys are whispering this, the conversation continues. Yes, it is true that Frost Breath is a very dangerous place. Not only because it is, well, the realm of one of the children of the Scourge. Although the path that you'll be taking should not have any chance of bringing you into contact with Brilgurn. Their presence and influence affects the weather, the terrain. It is a harsh environment, to be sure. Blizzards near constant. The temperatures too low for any unprepared to make it through. It's by no means a safe journey, but it is safer than the waters, and the harsh weather also adds something of cover if we were to move an army across without notice.
I see.
Not just the weather, but the creatures of Frost Breath are notoriously dangerous, and that's not to mention recent issues that we've had here in Talendor with a clan of white dragonborn that call the Isle their home.
So the children are responsible for the weather difference. Yeah.
Brilgurn is. It has been such for, well, time well before mine. Just as other dragons of sufficient strength and age bend the terrain and climate around them to their nature, as does Brilgurn. It is why there are such drastic variances in weather and biomes across Draconia that you can't see anywhere else in the world, as it's not natural. I guess it is as natural as dragons are.
Yeah, I was just curious about it.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. I am from Draconia, just not anywhere near here. This weather has been crazy traversing this land.
So, that is the brief of it. I could share with you old maps that we have of the last time that the trails were used to travel from here to Wing, but they may be well out of date. I would not put too much faith in them, but they should give you at least an idea of what you are getting into.
Yeah, I would appreciate that. That would... I mean, it's something to work off of.
I'll dig them up this evening, and as you are settling in, finding a place to rest, and I'm sure by the morning I could have them for you. Now, the only issue I have is, while I do not doubt that you are up to the task, Advisor Night River here has instructed me to send one of my men along with you. I have my agents out in various areas, and none of them currently are in Talendor. I don't expect any will be back for at least a few days.
I mean, well, I imagine the way forward is still relatively safe, would it be really wise? I wouldn't want any one of your agents to come to any harm.
Well, it's simply a matter of having draconian eyes and ears on the mission as well. It's not that we don't trust you, it's a matter of verification.
A few days, though?
Unless... Astalos, would you be up for joining them on their excursion? I know that you are not... This is not your job, or even my place to order you on to such a mission, but it would allow us to carry forth with the mission on a more timely basis, and I'm sure Night River would be in agreement with taking your reports.
It would be an honor.
Well,
if you would have me, I would gladly offer my sword.
Well, then that much is settled then. Astalos, he will join you on behalf of myself and Advisor Night River. So the brief of it is, journey across beyond Talendor, you will find Base Tail Bridge. Journey across that to Frostbreath. Make your way then up to Basewing and ensure that the bridge still holds. Any dangers you encounter along the way, I would not ask that you deal with, but at least make note of, so that we could prepare accordingly.
About that, you mentioned something creatures of the frost. Do you have, or would you be able to prepare something, like what types of creatures, or what was your name again? Astalos? Am I saying that? Well, have you encountered these creatures, or know their weaknesses, things like that? I'm sure it would help us with our journey anyway.
We've not traveled that path, as our journey here was, well, before the waters became too dangerous to travel. But I could inform you of stories. However, any information I could give you onto the creatures of the area would be at least 20 years out of date, and I would not wish you to prepare on inaccurate information. Just know that the weather has taken more than any creature has on Frostbreath. The cold is the killer, and the creatures there are adapted to withstand or even thrive in that environment, if that is of any use.
It's helpful. Thank you. Well, I'll be sure to take notes on any new creatures that I see. I'm pretty good at that.
Right. Well, there is a small inn not too far away. The town itself is not the largest, I'm sure you've noticed, and I'm sure they would be happy for the business. So I'll get on finding those maps if I can, and then I'll speak with you in the morning.
Yeah, that sounds good.
He nods, and you see the dragon-masked man. He turns towards the half-elf. You would do well to make yourself ready as well, Astalos.
Of course. I'll be ready.
Nods to you, and gives a farewell to the rest of you as Astalos and the 5 of you, including Svenkrit, make yourself way out of the room. And maybe towards the end, what are you guys doing?
I'm probably gonna knock the fuck out because if I'm already exhausted.
Already exhausted. Okay.
Would this be the time that I would also prepare my supplies, prepare spells, etc. for the journey?
Yeah, you could. Like, you could have like a list of prepared spells that you want. You don't have to change them every day. You could have, but yeah, tomorrow morning would be the time that you would prepare your spells for the day. But if you want to look over that now, absolutely. If you haven't already.
Yep.
Normally you come into the session with, prepared stuff, but that could change with like at least like a skeleton of spells to prepare that you have prepared. And then if something changes day to day, you could swap them out if you want.
Yeah.
All right.
So, that's interesting. I don't think I've ever seen... I imagine if he's shifting through his book of spells, I could be like, well, I've never seen someone of your likeness wielding a blade, let alone 2.
Yes, I mean, it's... I've had, under the tutelage of Lord Fang, I've studied both magic and sword, so I would say, humbly, adept in both.
It's impressive.
Well, thank you. You humbled me with your compliment.
Maybe you and Era could get acquainted with each other's arcane prowess.
Yes, I mean, I would, it would be an honor. I've always, I'm always appreciative to learn especially from such, capable people such as yourselves.
Sounds like you two will get along just fine if you're always willing to learn.
And also, who's Era?
I could point her out.
Okay, I mean, if you guys want, Astalos knows a bit of the town, at least where this inn is. He could escort you there, at least. Spend some time. That's up to you, though.
Yeah, if you could direct us, that would be wonderful.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it wouldn't be any trouble at all. We can head there now if you're ready.
I don't think we do anything else here unless
No, I don't think so.
there
Unless
is
you have
something more interesting to do for the rest of the day while we wait for tomorrow.
I would rather get to bed soon also, and maybe drink another cup of tea or something other warm.
So you head out of the lodge area, and Astalos begins to walk you guys through the bitter cold towards the inn. Snow and ice cover as much as all you can see. The buildings, trees, and all but what seems to be the most traveled main roads. You can sort of tell by the layout of the town as well as the fortifications that you can see on the edge that this was never really a very hospitable town. It seems it has a more feel of like a military base.
Reminds me of home. Or a bit of it.
Home sweet home.
Like it was used in the times that the metallic dragonborn were fighting with their chromatic counterparts, as it was basically like the last stop, the last bastion between Frostbreath and the only land path that connects the two major land masses of Draconia. As you enter the inn, you can see that there's a table that has a group of dragonborn. You can see their swords rested up against the table itself, and they're drinking what appears to be ale of some sort.
Wait, no, on second thought, I'm already tired. If I sleep too early, then I'll wake up earlier than when I need to wake up. So maybe I need to push through a bit more time, drink, and then sleep, and I'll be perfect. Come tomorrow morning. What do you say, Neri?
Actually does sound kind of cool. Yeah, I'm down for it.
Excellent.
Jumps up and she goes, "Let's go play in the snow with Valfir," and kind of like slams her hand on the table, like excitedly.
Okay.
You can take my little kitty cat over here, and if you want to, with you. I mean, seems like both of our little pets like each other, so. But I'd rather not go outside because it's just so darn cold at the moment.
You know who would love to go outside? Durand. Durand should go with you to build a snowman, and we will watch you from a distance, giving our moral support.
From in here.
Both of you make a snowman and we'll come out and judge them. Okay?
I'm done. I'm not sure what.
We'll touch them, yeah.
But it's snow. We haven't... I mean, I know we were in the snow, kind of, but not really in the snow.
Elevorn, look at me.
Elevorn, I'm freezing. I'm turning purple.
she's no longer red, she's just purple.
She would turn blue, but she has to go through purple first.
Do you want to make me blue?
Hey, how did you do that? How did you change your skin color?
The cold has a strange way of affecting tieflings.
You are quite the lively bunch, I see. A nice change of pace for once.
At times.
We have our moments.
Wait till you see a bear. It's amazing.
Wait till you see the giant squirrel. Now that's amazing.
A giant squirrel?
Yeah.
It does seem pretty amazing.
It is really amazing.
You know what else is amazing? Drinking. Do you drink?
Not that often. I mean, maybe at social events mostly.
Well, this is a social event.
I guess yes.
I mean, I don't want to force you. Of course, you don't have to.
No. It's quite fine. Yes, I mean, I do drink. I mean, I definitely want to make sure I'm hospitable. So of course, I'll sit down with you and have a drink.
Svenkrid speaks up. I will accompany you, Elevorn.
Yay!
I'm looking at Durando like you.
So
go.
Elevorn, you gonna head out into the snow?
Yeah.
Elevorn excitedly runs out into the snow with Valfir and the Tressum in tow. Svenkrid up to Durand and this weather, it does not bother me as it seems to affect some of you here. I'll make sure she does not stay out there too long.
I won't be long in here. I'll join you in a moment.
Alright, that works. And he nods, and it was nice meeting you, Astolos. I'm sure that we will have ample opportunity to share drinks in the future.
Yes, it would be my pleasure.
So the Silver Dragonborn walks out. You guys order your drinks. Drinks here, silver piece each. And rooms are 5 silver each. You don't get many visitors through Talendor, so they have plenty of empty rooms.
So how much it would be for, like, if I would get, like, brandy or something and ale?
Brandy and an ale. How much brandy are you talking?
It's like 1 glass, because it gotta give, warms you up a little bit.
Gotcha. Alright, so your drink, with the ale and all, and a gold piece. Sure, why not?
Okay.
Hard liquor stuff is rare around here, it seems.
I'll give like 2 gold pieces though for one. There's like 1 payment for 1 room, at least.
Okay, sounds good.
I will have 2 ale and something hot.
Something hot?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tea, I guess.
What something hot goes for? Okay.
Oh, is there hot cocoa?
Hot Coke? No, there's not.
What about a hot meal?
Dang.
Maybe some soup.
Soup?
Good soup.
Good soup.
Good.
Yeah.
Good soup. I didn't think to eat something. That's a good point.
Yeah, you guys haven't eaten today. Just straight up 8 hours of travel.
And then drinking, straight up drinking. There's no food.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So
they have a broth. You could get a broth. They have like what seems to be a stew of very resilient like root vegetables and meat.
I'd like stew. Because yes, food is needed.
2 stew, 1 broth. I'm catering the party going on outside.
Gotcha. All right. So we'll say that food, drinks, whatever, for everybody involved, if you wish, a gold a person.
Okay.
All right, well, I'm using 3 then.
Makes it
Okay,
easier.
sounds good. So you guys sit down at a table. There are 3 tables total in this inn, one of which is taken up by the soldiers, one of which is taken up by you guys, which, you have to take a chair or 2 from the empty table. But within 15, 20 minutes, you're brought out your meals, as you've already had some time with your drinks. The stew itself is pretty dense. There's you get the taste of potatoes, carrots, turnips, and the meat itself is tasty, but has a different consistency and texture than anything that any of you have had before. It's a little bit stringy. It's not bad, but it's very sinewy.
That makes me personally uncomfortable, but I believe Duran is not perturbed.
Okay.
I was like, be wondering a little bit or 2, but not mind it too much because hungry.
But I have knowledge of what this mystery meat is.
No.
No, gosh.
Not even gonna make him check for it. Come on.
I want to keep eating. So it tastes like okay, it's worth.
Yeah.
No, it tastes fine. Just
I'm
feels
already
weird.
eating people.
Oh no.
It's just a different kind of meat than anything that you're used to. You've not had anything like that.
Yeah,
before.
it tastes fine. It just feels weird. Yeah, like I
To
said.
adapt the palate.
Cobalt meat.
Cobalt. No,
Oh my
not my
God.
children. Ocelus
I went
unacquainted.
all the way back to Ambiville and everything to get your kobolds.
Okay.
So as this is going on, outside Elevorn, what are you doing?
Oh, chasing Valfir around, being chased by Valfir.
Just playing
'Cause,
Valfir,
you know.
chasing Valfir, just playing around, letting some energy be expended in the snow.
And tell him to sit, and then I'll give him some food, and a little bit of training.
Animal handling check, please.
The Trasham would be watching what Waldner is doing. Is
will be smelling, watching with its nose.
Thinking about if she should do the same or not.
Well, if he did sit, I would give her a piece. But it was 23 total.
All right. Valfir is very responsive. There are times, that he gets a little bit rambunctious and excited and starts to run off, but it responds immediately to your commands when you tell him to come back.
Valfir's a griffin, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A little griffin cub.
They're all just pets outside playing in the snow. A Tressum is also... Is a Tressum considered a pet?
Yes.
Yeah. So, as you guys are talking, you do occasionally overhear something. You can overhear the soldiers. It seems like they're talking about what Lord Fang had said before, at least something about that, which is a clan of white dragonborn. It seems like they're talking about their most recent encounter with these dragonborn. From what you can piece together just by overhearing it, you get the idea that they had actually come in and sort of raided the town a bit. And got away with some of the stores and treasury from the barracks, at least. But they're not talking to you, they're talking with each other. You guys are having your drinks, having your food. As the hour turns into a couple, as the sun sets, Elavorn, Svengrid advises that it's time to head back inside, somewhere warmer. As maybe not for what's up?
At some point, I would have been out there to give them.
Okay. Building a snowman.
I mean, I suppose I don't know. I came outside with the soup and an ale for Sven. And
he takes it with thanks, and as you're looking out into the field and over in the front area of the inn, and there's just Elavorn footprints, griffin paw prints, Tressum stuff, and it's just all over the place.
Strange to think if circumstances were different, how things would be. Duty ever present.
That is a way of things. It's just... It is small moments. It just sort of... makes you think. Eventually, right?
Yeah, eventually.
Nods and raises the ale that you brought out to him and takes a drink, and I've been thinking myself since our visit to the Aegis in Metchroma. We are standing on land that was potentially once walked by Bahamut himself. Area that he did battle with Tiamat and her armies. And, well, if there ever was a place to recover and find the Aegis, at least he said it was lost in a battle, it has to be here, somewhere. If it still exists, It does. It does. It's here somewhere, right? That's what that means, right?
I definitely believe him. And I would like to believe that that is true. I'm not unfaithful. It's just sometimes probably a little bit hard to believe.
I'm well aware that stories and legends do get, misinterpreted, changed as years and centuries go on, but I would be lying if it wasn't, at least since then, it's been taking up a good amount of my thoughts.
Oh, I agree. I'm with you there.
I know it's not the reason we are here, but if we could bring that back to the Aegis, to the world, it's a relic of Bahamut himself. How much good could be done with that? It could quite literally change the world. And for the better. Obviously.
Well, Sven, if you believe we can find it, I believe too as well. Like you mentioned, we're not here for it, but I will keep my eyes and ears and faith open.
I have to take an evening and pray. I have to get my mind back on the task at hand. I cannot be distracted, especially if frost breath is as dangerous as it has been presented to us.
Well, it's not. You shouldn't see it as a distraction, merely a motivation. A stepping stone.
Takes another drink. Yes. I will use that as my motivation. That is quite wise of you. Alright. So, Nedadion and Era are the first to take to their rooms and go to bed as they have to sleep off some exhaustion. Astalos, when they head to bed, you realize that you probably should also do the actual preparation for the journey that you haven't done yet. At a time after Elavorn and Sven and Durand have made their way back in, tracking snow back in that eventually melts due to the warmth of the hearth inside the inn. The soldiers, grumbling, finish off their drinks, and you hear the scraping of wood on wood as they get up out of their chairs, grab their weapons, and begin to make their way out as well. So, you guys ready to call it an evening?
I think so.
I am, yeah.
Okay. So, guys head to bed, get your long rest. The morning comes, and you begin to make ready for, your expedition into beyond Talendor.
Oh, I
get to that after.
I'm attuning to the chainmail.
Gotcha. Sounds good. All right. So let's go ahead and take a break. About 10-15 minutes. Wizards and anybody that needs to prepare spells, if anything has changed, go ahead and you can prepare spells for a new day. And I'll see you guys in a bit.
Whee! Let's see what to prepare.
clothes on, your nice, warm, thick coats, boots, gloves. Lord Sirius comes into your room wearing a different mask than he was prior. But you're not phased by it. You've seen, you're well and comfortable with him by now. Stolos.
Yes, Lord Vayne.
He goes up and hands you a rolled up scroll of parchment. That's what I was able to find concerning our conversation with the adventurers yesterday. It should give a basic layout of the land, at least enough to guide you in a direction on your journeys. If ever it seems too perilous, unsafe, and you make your way back. No reason for any of you to die out there.
Of course. I'll make sure that I keep your teachings in mind.
Nods. Well then, I shall await your return. And pauses for a moment, and you wonder just what exactly is going on beneath the mask, but slight nod, he turns, hands clasped behind his back, and back to his office. You meet up with the others in the inn and present them with the chart. Everyone is packed up, ready to go, ready to head off beyond Talendor towards Frostbreath. Looking at this, it looks like it's about a full day's journey just to get to the first bridge. The bridge that actually leads from this continent, this landmass, to Frostbreath. Which, I don't know if you guys can see that, because I don't have my Discord up. Let's see. Where are we? We're there. So the first bridge is going to be here. You guys are like, what is there? Like there-ish. So it's going to be a day's travel or so to get there, to get to the island known as Frostbreath, which is just the island that lays between the wing and the body there. That whole thing. Got it? Good. Good. Sounds good. Thank you.
Get it? Got it? Good.
Yep. Alright, so if there is nothing else that needs to be done, you guys begin to make your way out of town. Before you reach the edge of town, there is a female dragonborn that is standing on the road out. She seems a bit out of place. She appears to be waiting, dressed in thick coat, gloves, boots, kind of bundled herself up. You can see she appears to be a copper dragonborn. The breath on each of your breath you can see exhaled as is visible as you exhale, and you can see she takes a breath as she notices your approach and begins to hurriedly walk towards you.
I'm going to wave a little.
She nods and, hello, I heard from the innkeeper that you were here, and maybe seems true. You're really going to Frostbreath.
Yeah, seems like it. I mean, we're sure gonna try.
apologies, and she gives a little bow. My name is Gatir Gavila Tora. I run, or I see over an orphanage here in Talendor. It used to be the place where children of soldiers fallen would be raised, but since the time of the war is over, it's now a place where, well, those that are displaced by the chaos can call home, and in recent times, a bit more than we have been used to. I will get to the point. I wish to ask your aid for something.
Okay.
Frost Breath is said to have creatures and beasts that are adapted to withstand the cold, and the amount of children under my care, we do not have, I fear, simply enough blankets to keep them warm through the upcoming winter. If you come across any of these creatures, anything maybe, I am quite skilled with needle and thread, and I can work furs and hide well enough. If you are able to bring some back, I'm sure I could find something to make it worth your while.
Well, we'll see what we can find. I'll definitely keep it in mind.
That's all I can ask. Thank you for hearing me out. And she nods/bows before making her way past you, quickly walking back into Talendor.
That's interesting. An orphanage here?
Yes, unfortunately, many were displaced during the attacks, and a lot of people found refuge here. It's not something that is normal, but I'm sure you've noticed there's a military structure to this, and we've aided some of the locals so they could find refuge.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I suppose that is true. Well, if we can offer any help along the way, that should be fine.
Alright. So, the first stretch of this journey, as you continue past Talendor, every hour of travel seems to come with it colder and colder temperatures, more harsh and biting winds. Gets to the point where it almost feels like, well, for those of you that did suffer from that exhaustion and felt that cold cutting through you, it gets to that point. Although you guys do have the cold weather clothing, it does help to stave off the cold, but even so, it eventually does begin to seep through and start chilling you to the bone. So, I need everyone at this point to go ahead and make a Constitution saving throw with advantage, because you have for those with the cold weather clothing, which is everybody, Durand and Svenkrid, you automatically succeed with your cold resistance.
Hell
yeah. 23.
Okay.
14.
Okay.
25.
All right. And Era?
19.
All right. You're all good. on the way. What is our current marching order? Who is at the front of this? Who's in the middle? Who's at the back? In what order are you guys walking?
I believe I would be in the front.
Okay.
I'm guessing being someone that's a melee class or whatever, I would feel confident being, well, a mixed class. I'd be confident being a little bit ahead of some of the, what would seem like casters.
I'm in the back.
Gotcha. And then from behind
What
you.
about a back attack?
All right, never mind. I'm next to Nick.
I'm in the middle. Put me in the middle.
All of a sudden.
Danger.
Can I just be kind of trailing behind a little, sort of playing with Valkyr?
Sure.
Kind of not like entirely playing. I mean, it's dangerous, but
Gotcha.
Snow.
Okay. So, Durand, go ahead and make a perception check, please. It's not quite vision obscuring enough with the wind and snow to impose disadvantage, but it's pretty close. A lot of the far-off landscape is just whitewashed with the whipping wind and the snowfall that has increased steadily with every step you take away from Talendor.
That is a 9.
9? Nothing.
Oof.
You are at least able to continue to follow this path. Occasionally, you have to stop and kick away some snow and dirt just to see that you're still actually on the path, as it does not seem as if this road towards the bridge has been traveled in, well, at least not any time recently. Elevorn, as the journey continues, the hours continue to pass. You notice that you as far back as you once could, because you start to lose sight of those that are walking ahead. So you do actually have to keep up the pace at some point, and just to not lose vision with the rest.
Yeah, I'm not that far behind. I mean, no, I'd be like telling Valkyr, hey, go get Hera, Mm-hmm. Just have him run up there and come back.
All right. So, with the cold winds around your face, your eyes, you can feel it beginning to sting, but it's not to the point of actual pain yet. It is most certainly uncomfortable, but just. The warm clothing does help, absolutely. The day continues, turns to afternoon, the afternoon to evening. The occasional stop for food, nothing hot though, as that would take time to do, but you get to the point where trudging through a good solid few inches of snow has begun to take its toll on even the most traveled of you. Svengrid, as well as Duran, the least unfazed of the group, it would seem, looks around and sees the look on all of your faces from what he can see, as a lot of you have covered up most of your face to maintain warm. So, if we are to set up camp for the evening, how would we go about doing that? It is not exactly the most forgiving environment for most of us here.
Oh, Maybe we could find some ledge or something that would give us a little bit of coverage.
Perhaps we could burrow in the snow if it's deep enough and make a kind of like an underground room or some sort of dome out of snow.
You wish to construct an entire structure for one evening?
If it's what it takes.
I could try to warm it up a little.
What do you mean? Build a fire or something? That was the plan, yes. At least make a clearing, clear the snow out of an area. We could set up a campfire.
Elevorn points up at the sky. I'm like, no, like, all of it. Well, for a ways, anyway. I mean, if we're staying here.
Don't exactly understand what you mean, Elevorn.
I can just make it less cold. You know?
Well, if...
I'm sure she means through some powers of
I'm sure.
the nature.
If she could do that, if that's what you wish to do,
Is it incredibly noticeable? We might be putting a target on our backs.
Well, I don't have to make it, like, unbearably hot. I could, you know, just make it, like, cool instead of frigid.
Okay.
But if you think that's too dangerous, I mean, you might be right, because if the animals feel hot, then, you know.
well, while you discuss that, since it seems I am the most fitting for this climate, I'm going to go off of it and look for something that might serve as shelter, something for the evening.
I can join you.
Durant, go ahead and make a survival check, please.
He's about to dig up treasure.
With survival.
I'm not thinking of shit. It's 7.
7?
Please, Sven, do better than me.
He did. At least twice as good as you.
Thank you.
After a while, looking around, Svenkrid notices what appears to be the broken hilt of a sword. Takes it up out of the snow and kicks some of the snow around to reveal what appears to be a dirt path. Traveling it for a total of maybe about 15 minutes away, you can see a wooden structure. Looks like a little outpost or something, just a simple, small building. Very much in disrepair and does not seem to have been used for quite some time. Snow has completely covered the roof of it and has begun to bank up against the actual structure itself so that you'd have to clear it out to actually get into the building, but it's something.
Better than making up a construct.
Yes, definitely. Shall we get the others?
Yeah, or rather, maybe we can get ahead of keeping or clearing this place. I'll just try to call them over.
Yes, just let them know. Just tell them to follow our footsteps. Should not be too hard to do.
Yeah. I will. Wow. Willingly using this. Impressive.
For the first time ever, Duran uses the bracelet on his own accord.
Right. Let's see here. How do I use this? Oh, I forgot. I'll hold it. Right. I think that shows them this thing. So I'll press it down. I'll hold it. Show them what we found, and then now I will stop pressing it down, and I will talk to them, and I will say, "Hey, so Sven and I found a place we can rest for the evening. Just follow our footsteps, and you should find us here."
Oh, okay. Thank you.
So you guys follow the footsteps, easy enough, no survival checks needed. By the time that you get there, Durand and Sven could have cleared out the snow away from the front door. And entering, you can see that it is very sparsely furnished. A couple bedrolls still on the ground against the wall. A single table. A couple chairs around that. And a fireplace with a chimney that is very old and well out of use. In fact, there is snow that has come down from the chimney area and has started to has taken up a good portion of the inside as well.
Well, there goes that. I don't think we want to clear that out, and like you said previously, it might give us away too if we would clear this snow out from the chimney and everything.
It'd be our
and then
best
light
way.
it on fire.
It'd be our best way of keeping warm, though.
That would take a good amount of time.
Yeah, maybe we should just clear out a little bit on the floor over here and make a campfire instead. Then it wouldn't even get too smoky, I guess, you know.
A little curious that this is out here, though. Maybe we need to check it just to make sure it's really safe. If we're gonna spend the night here.
Not a bad idea. We really just found it so far.
So you're talking about inside, outside, both?
Outside, I'd imagine.
Alright.
Or I guess both. One of us
said
could check
both,
inside.
yeah.
Okay, one of us could check inside, another could check outside.
Alright. Who's got inside, who's got outside?
I'll check outside.
I'll help on the inside.
Alright, investigation check inside, outside. It's either going to be perception or survival, your choice.
I rolled the 1.
I rolled a 1.
No.
Fuck!
We should make sure that this is suspicious. We should make sure it's safe. You know, on second thought, everything seems good.
18.
18.
8.
8. Outside, nothing. You can see that there is, like next to this little shelter, like I said, looks like an outpost. There is a sort of a watchtower that is not far away from this little lodge either. So you can kind of take what you will on that of what it was used for. Inside Neridion, as Svenkrid is taking kind of what you had said and is beginning to clear out space in the middle of the room and begin to rip up some of the floorboards, basically making an area like a dirt pit in the middle, so that if you guys are going to make a campfire, it's not just a campfire on a wooden floor, because that doesn't seem like a good idea. Yep, the fire inspector, the fire marshal would not take kindly to that. Inside, you find some signs that this was used as just a kind of outpost. You find a couple scraps of paper that seem like they once belonged to like a log book, some kind of military outpost. Nothing specific telling, nothing is shouting this is what this was used for, but it's very sparsely furnished. It seems like it was just a place for whoever was on watch to sleep, eat, take shelter from the elements. It's not by any means a house or anything like that. It's just a simple, just four walls to keep the wind out.
Well, I don't notice anything strange over here. I mean, it's just a lodging for, for sleeping and maybe eating and taking a shelter from the weather, but otherwise it seems fine. No traps or anything.
Could I find a tree?
You could look for one.
Yeah.
All the trees that you've seen so far have been, like, obviously leafless and very, and not at all the size that you need. You don't see any tree that would pass a person through it. All the trees in this area, that you've seen, have been pretty skinny. Not much in the way of nutrients to foster a big and strong tree in a place that, from what you understand, is pretty perpetually cold.
Looking for a tree, I imagine, Elevor?
Yeah, I thought maybe there'd be some of those. Well, something. These all seem little.
I wonder what this place used to look like before the children arrived.
Probably not too dissimilar, Svenkrid said.
You don't think maybe it was, I don't know.
Draconia has been home to dragons for, well, perhaps before the first white dragons stake their claim to the territory, but I imagine white dragons have existed long before the children of the Scourge have. Long before even Dragonborn have.
Do you think the climate was like this for all that time?
Probably not that, but I would imagine it has been like this for, well, as long as white dragons have called this area has staked their claim here. Or at least around here. Or at least, as long as there's been particularly powerful ones. I have heard, read, and it's generally understood that significantly powerful dragons can, in fact, change the weather in the territory around their lairs.
We saw a bit of that back in the mainland with, gosh, I don't remember her name.
What this place would be without the presence of, was it Brilgurn that they said was the white dragon? Oh, maybe we'll find out. We should head back in. Even if the cold does not particularly bother us, we should still get our rest. So, pulling out any sort of sleeping bags that you guys have, using some of the old wood that Svenkrid had ripped up from the floorboards to get a fire started. The interior of this little lodge becomes comfortable within a matter of about an hour, hour and a half.
Can I make dinner?
Sure. It would be good to, as people need to eat to survive.
Yeah.
Yay, dinner's on Ellaborn.
Alright, so anytime that you make food for someone, Ellaborn, you could just mark off a pound a person of the food that you have collected.
Okay.
So that would be, wow, we're up to 6. 6 people need to eat today.
Maybe we need to get more when we go back.
I think that Ellaborn brought 150 pounds of food with her, so.
Oh, we're fine. For now.
For now. Okay. So over the campfire, you take out your culinarian's tools, your utensils, and you get to cooking. What are you making? Some nice, hot, hearty root vegetable soup stew type thing? Or something else in mind?
Yeah, just making like a vegetable stew.
As you're doing that, Svenkrid takes out his water skin and goes to take a drink, and then chuckles as he realizes that it has since frozen.
I'm gonna check out my water skin, see if it's frozen.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but
Darn it.
gotta put it kind of close to the fire, you know?
Maybe we should carry these in one of those bags that you have. They shelter things from the elements.
Actually, I'm not sure. I'm just gonna maybe dig out something to see if it's maybe cold,
It's not
like
cold,
extra
no.
cold or frozen.
No, seems room temperature, average room temperature.
I think this might work, yeah. Better to thaw the water first, though, before putting it in one of the bags.
Agreed. I guess better to learn this lesson sooner rather than later. And after the water thaws and he drinks some of it as he's eating the food prepared by you, Ellavorn. A nice warm meal, warm the bones, and along with the fire, you guys are feeling good. Anything before you rest for the night and continue on?
What's in this soup? There's something really familiar about this.
Potatoes?
You must mean the style it is. Does it feel homey?
Yeah, that's kind of what I meant.
That's just she has a knack for these things, it seems.
She also makes the best pastries.
Oh, intriguing. Well, I do want to thank you for doing this. I appreciate the meal.
Oh, of course. I mean, it's better because Neri got me this cool pouch thingy, and I can just... It's really cool. I can pull out different seasonings.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. It was really a good gift for you.
Meal is concluded, Svenkrid offers to refill anyone's water skins with conjure food and drink, or whatever paladin spells have.
But we could just take some of the snow.
Just this melted snow?
Yeah.
If you want to do that, you can, but he's gonna use his spell too.
Yeah, all is fine.
I still have, like, 4 water skins from the desert.
Oh, man. I'm just gonna fill my animal trophy with water.
He's gonna, ask and place his water skin in your bag, Durant, to protect it from getting frozen.
Sure. Let's add another one in here.
Another one.
I'm gonna give it a different name.
Okay.
This one's special.
So, you guys rest for the evening. Those of you who had Sven sippy cup, yep. Those of you who had any exhaustion, it has since worn off after you took the long rest the previous night. You guys sleep through the evening, although it is comfortable enough to rest here. You're still, the entirety, you hear like the winds whipping against the structure. Morning comes, you wake up, pack up, kick out the embers of the previous night's campfire, and continue on, following your footsteps from the previous evening back towards the main path. You pick up where you had left off. Leaving the warmth of that outpost, and it gives you about an hour before the cold once again begins to seep in through your clothing. But as you guys approach your third hour of travel for the day, you begin to hear what sounds like rushing water. And as you continue on, you can see where that sound was coming from, as you guys have a vision of about maybe 60 to 80 feet at this point. You can see the beginnings of the bridge that you were looking for, the one that will take you from this land onto Frostbreath. The bridge itself is covered in layers of ice, with what look like the railings as well as the main part of the bridge having icicles draping down off of it. The bridge itself extends for a couple 100 feet at least, hard to say. And it is hundreds of feet over, looks like frigid, raging waters.
Fun times.
We're gonna die.
Can I, hit on the ropes to see if, I could get the icicles to loosen up and be full?
Okay, how hard are you hitting it?
I don't know, hard?
Oh no.
Gotta make a strength check. Well, one, you don't even know if it's a rope bridge, so...
Yeah, but I'm still just gonna try it.
Okay.
Uh, 14.
14? Okay. You hit it pretty hard, and you're able to knock off, some of the outer layers, but it gets to the point where the ice is really hard, rock hard, it seems. The icicles themselves seem to be at a sort of angle, as it's basically frozen sea spray from the waters below that had caught onto the bridge and froze as they did. What you did find out is that the ice does seem very sturdy, but also that, yes, this was at one point a rope bridge, although you can't see the ropes, nor the wood that you imagine would have made up the planks of the bridge itself. Once a rope bridge, now completely frozen, basically in
Ice bridge.
a block of ice. Yeah, it's an ice bridge now.
Is there any way for us to check if it's stable?
How are you going to do that?
No clue.
You want to throw something at it? You want to walk on it? You want to... What do you...
Use telekinesis on the bridge.
You want to jump? You want to jump up and down on it? That's a way to check if you want.
That sounds like a wonderful idea. I'm gonna do that.
The bridge itself, like, what are you gonna do?
I'm doing exactly that.
You're jumping up and down?
Yeah, I'm walking up forward.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be prepared just in case if it seems like he is gonna fall off or something. I'm gonna be like prepared to use telekinesis on him.
Okay.
All right, I walk forward and I start doing a couple of jumps.
All right.
How do I feel?
Seems to hold your weight fine. The ice, however, is, a bit slick. It is ice. So you find that if you're going to walk across it, you have to measure your steps carefully. You can't really move across at your normal speed safely.
We can't just slide. We can't just slide across.
You could certainly try. Seems like the ice itself, like there's more bridge here than was originally built. Like the way that the precipitation and whatever had frozen and formed, the ice itself, the bridge itself seems to have doubled, maybe even tripled in width, just due to the ice alone.
Oh, can I see the other side of the bridge from here?
Vaguely.
So it's like super far.
It's at least 102 feet. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, maybe we should walk.
I have the answer for this.
What?
I normally would have the answer for this, but I don't have it prepared.
Yes, let that regret sink in. I have freedom of movement.
Okay.
As per Zen's very nice, kind, given oath spells.
All right, so you can do that for yourself, right?
Yeah,
or
I mean,
one person.
Look, I didn't claim that I had the answer for everyone. I just said I had the answer.
Okay.
Well,
I never said it was impossible to cross. And
hey,
even
look,
the
man,
the
I need to be
hanging
prepared.
icicles that had attached to the rope bridge do form kind of like guardrail type apertures.
I need to be prepared for anything.
I'm very skeptical about this ice bridge.
Okay.
I do have dimension door. I can bring one person along
Oh my god,
across
I
the
have
bridge.
it too!
The wizards just bring people across!
Okay, if we're gonna do that way, then I'm gonna switch my cloak to the other cloak so I can do the dimension door also.
Everyone can just dimension door across. We have 6 people.
Let's go.
Cross, but like not everyone else will cross. So then, how will we get them to cross?
Well, dimension door, you can bring one person with you.
2 people.
No, us. But like, isn't the goal to like make just the bridge?
Make the bridge safe.
Make sure it's.
We can do that
I
later.
got it.
This is also.
Okay, you're right.
We cast fireball all the way across.
We do.
What?
We just keep using.
Just fireball.
Exactly. Oh my god, I'm too far.
So, if we want to test
Just
the
fireball.
bridge in kind of a safe-ish way, I could conjure animals to walk across and verify that it's okay, because they'll be okay,
Okay. Yeah, we can put in an animal that would be similar weight to all of us crossing. I guess that would tell us if it's okay to cross, or if we have to go one by one, or what. I don't know.
Well, the army's not going to be able to do that. This is too much of a bottleneck, right? So it'd have to support a lot of weight.
Possibly.
I'm already digging out the cape.
Gotcha. All right. So what are you doing? Are you conjuring animals, Elevorn?
Yeah.
All right. What animals are you conjuring?
Okay, right. So, if I wanted to like be, well, I mean, I don't want to be the animals to be too, so like bears or something. Like,
Bears.
do you think that would be okay? Would that be big enough? Like, count as 2 people per 1 bear?
So how many bears? Like 2 bears, 4 bears? How many can you conjure?
Like 7th level bears?
7th level of bears?
Yo, oh
I
my
think that we're
god.
gonna break the
7th
bridge.
level of bears?
Yo.
Are there some bears that are like half CR half or something like that? And that means 2, right? For 3rd level?
Yeah.
So is it like
Good old-
1 more or 2 more per, like, what's the, I'll have to look at that.
3 times as many at 7th level.
3 times as
Oh,
many?
man.
So 6 bears is what you're saying?
6 bears. Oof.
6 bears,
How
6
big
people.
are 6 bears? Is that double our weight or our weight or what is our weight in
Or, I
bears?
mean,
We don't
What is
need
our
to
weight
do
in bears?
math.
would wolves be better? I feel like wolves are smaller than people, but maybe that'd be better.
Okay, so black bears I thought were challenge rating half, which you could do 4 beasts challenge rating half or lower, and 3 times with 7th level. So you could have 12 black bears.
That's so many bears. You could have an army of bears.
Or, however many wolves. Well, do you think wolves are too small? I'm like asking everybody. Like, I'm not casting the spell. I'm like openly talking to everyone. I'm trying to figure this out.
I think depending on the wolf, it might be as much as a person, right? How big are these wolves? These like dire wolves? Little wolves? I don't know.
At the same time, this is only the first of 2 bridges that we have to find. I don't think that our charge was to ensure the structural integrity of the bridge. I'm sure that since it is here, if we can cross it, they can figure out crossing at that point in time.
Okay, so we have to walk across. All right.
How?
Right.
So what's the distance?
You
Does
don't see the
yeah, but does the dimension door, is it on the range?
1, you can't see the other side of it. 2, dimension door, you could say like 500 feet straight that way, and hope that it's enough.
yeah.
500 feet's a long ways.
Yeah, it is a long ways, but yeah, since I can't see the
You don't see
bridge
the
ends,
other side
so-
of the bridge, but you do see, like the other cliff side, basically, like down near the base of the water. You can see out there, so you can see where the other side of the cliff is, and that's about, looks like, close to 200 feet.
I guess we can just hope we don't fall to our deaths. That's...
really thinking about it.
No, that's fine. Maybe we should I'm overthinking this. Maybe we should just
Forget
cross.
world-ending monsters. I just need to throw a bridge at you guys. This is all it took this whole time. I just needed to put a bridge in front of you.
I'm also looking
Look,
at
man,
air a
look.
little bit.
Come on, man. We're it's like finding a chest just before a really big empty open room, and it's got like all sorts of healing and like ammo and stuff in it. You just put a
How
giant
is
bridge
it
in
like
front of us.
It's not like it came out of nowhere. It's not like you guys were.
It just materialized. It
It's not
came
like
out of
you
nowhere
guys
in
were
our
like,
vision.
How are we going to cross this place? And I'm like, oh yeah, there's a bridge. And then you're like, that's kind of fishy. I would told you to look for a fucking bridge. Like, that's the whole point of you being here.
I agree with that, so I think we're overthinking this.
I think we should just cross. Okay, let's cross.
Are you guys
We're already out here.
Are you guys trying to cross the bridge?
Yeah.
Okay. Like I said,
Giant red dragon attack.
It's a little bit difficult to maintain your balance if you're going at like a normal speed, so you do have to kind of shuffle across. but it holds your weight just fine. And within a few minutes, you guys all find yourself on the other end, on the other side. Now on Frost Breath Isle.
We did it.
We made it.
We made it, guys. We beat the bridge, guys.
We beat it. Do I level up?
Right?
Should we level
Yeah,
up?
can we get a level up?
Okay. So, looking at the chart, and generally speaking, you're going to be heading in a northward direction. You have a vague idea of where to go. Basically, you're going to continue traveling past the bridge until you reach some foothills. These foothills eventually will curve up and turn into a mountain range that kind of follows the coastline. And beyond the mountain range will be where the other bridge is. You don't have to travel through the mountains, you could go around. But that's the general idea of where you're going. The other side here, the snow itself, the wind is bitingly cold. So I need everybody, except for those with resistance to cold damage, to go ahead and make a Constitution saving throw.
My favorite.
With advantage.
Oh.
With advantage if you have warm clothes. So everybody with advantage.
Sweet.
What's
A2?
I'm trying. Oh no. Give me a second.
So both of my dice gave me an 8, so that's total of 11.
Okay.
Fuck you, dice.
I did my math wrong. It's 21.
Okay.
I got a 15.
All right.
24.
Okay. Everyone is fine for the first hour.
Scary.
The second hour, every subsequent hour, it seems more difficult. It's more time that you guys are exerting the effort to walk and trudge through the snow. It's more time spent in the biting cold of Frost Breath Isle. And so I need you all to make another Constitution saving throw for this second hour of travel.
22.
Okay.
Oh,
22.
7.
Oh no.
20.
Okay. Was that everybody? Did we get Nares?
I said
Yeah,
22.
22.
Okay. So that's everybody except for Era, if I'm not mistaken.
No, she got 8?
So,
8 or 7, either way. No, I meant everyone succeeds except for Era.
Oh, yeah.
So Era, you suffer 1 point of exhaustion.
The goof.
The winds kick up to near blizzard level, if not at a blizzard level of force. Even to those of you with resistance to cold, the cold on your eyes, you find yourself holding your eyes closed for an extended period of time, covering your face with your arms to just stop the winds from accosting you. Snow has gotten to the point where it is at basically covering your ankles. And so trudging through that is not easy. Whenever you do have to stop, confront the charts, that is, you have to hold it tight lest it be torn from your grasp by the wind themselves, and you have to shout to get your voices heard above the blizzard-like conditions around you. You've only been walking on Frostbreath for a couple hours and already it's quite the welcome. And the thought of, well, you have to go deeper, further into this land. Even to those not affected by the temperature, it's not appealing, as just trudging through snow at all is pretty exhausting.
Why couldn't have we come here when it's summer?
Are you guys continuing?
Have we noticed any wildlife around, or?
Go ahead and make a survival check. Or perception, your choice.
It's 22.
22?
Wow.
You've not seen anything, and that might be just due to your limited range, but you have absolutely heard, like, the call of the howling of wolves in the distance every now and again. Other than that, it's a pretty just desolate snowscape. At least for the stretch that you seem to be walking now. The very occasional twig-like tree, most of them bent or completely snapped due to the weight of the snow and the force of the winds. But if you're continuing on, I would need another Constitution saving throw, please, for the third hour travel. Each subsequent hour is getting more difficult to continue. Every consecutive hour of travel you guys have, the DC gets higher.
Bueno.
It's an hour. Let me see. I can use protection from energy on Era.
Let's see what that says.
It gives resistance to a choice of my choosing. Choice element of my choosing in the list of elements I can choose from.
Okay. For an hour.
For an hour, yeah.
For this hour, you could protect her from needing to make the roll. Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Everybody else?
All right, we continue on.
All right, so
I think, right?
Well, yep. Third hour travel, Constitution saving throws from Nerdian, Elavorn, and Astalos.
23.
21.
19.
All right, everyone is good. Unless someone wants to search for some sort of shelter, and you guys are going to continue on. Fourth hour of travel. Everybody except for Durand and Svenkrid, unless you're going to do something else, Durand. It's noticeable when the weather and the conditions start to affect Era again.
Really quick question. What's a passive score on my perception?
Passive is just basically what I would use. It's just what you can see without actively rolling. So it's kind of like what I would use to determine if someone can sneak up on you or not, right? Because you're not always actively looking around. Don't worry about it. It's not for you.
Okay. Okay, I just didn't know. I was wondering. Okay.
So, are you doing another spell, Duen, or no?
Yes.
On Era?
Yeah.
Alright. So, Elevorn, Neridion, Astalos again, please.
22.
14.
Okay. Just to be clear, Astalos, you're not using whatever you would use for, like, concentration. That's not the case, right? You're just doing a straight up Constitution saving throw?
Yeah, I'm using my regular Constitution with advantage.
Gotcha. Neridion?
22.
Alright. Elevorn, you suffer a point of exhaustion. Coming up occasionally when the winds just die down a little bit, you're able to see what looks like a tree line of very sparsely laid out trees sitting above the horizon. It seems like you're coming up on some foothills, although they are still quite a ways away. Fifth hour of travel. Anything, Duen, or anyone else?
Are we how's everybody thinking? Should we look for shelter? Do we think we should push through to the end, to the clearing?
We don't know exactly how many hours we have, do we?
Make a perception check.
$11.
11. Hard to say. Could be anywhere from, looks like 1 to 4 or 5 hours is your guess.
I think we should look for shelter. I don't think it's beneficial to keep pushing and then be more exhausted.
Yeah, I agree with you. We shouldn't keep pushing on.
Okay. So, who's going to look for shelter? Either 2 people or 1 person with advantage, please. It's going to be a survival check.
I can give advantage because I definitely gonna roll myself.
Actually, on second thought, anybody that is proficient in survival can roll. Otherwise, is anyone proficient in survival?
I am, I think.
All right, so Elevorn and Astalos roll survival then, please.
Yeah, you are.
Okay. Okay. I rolled a. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I rolled a 23.
Okay. Elevorn?
Do I have disadvantage on this roll from the exhaustion?
You do.
It's 15.
Okay. Elevorn and Astalos. One time searching the area around after it was brought up that you should perhaps find shelter. You see what you might have otherwise mistaken as a tree in the distance, but the dimensions, the perspective doesn't really make sense. And upon getting closer, you notice that it's another one of those watchtower outpost type buildings. find the others and inform them. Well, that sounds like it's at least a good place to catch our breath, get out of the cold for now. You guys heading there?
Yeah.
I vote yes.
Yeah, not a vote. Yes.
All right. You guys head in, and as you all head in, you close the door behind you, shaking and patting off the snow that clings to your coats. It takes a while. You can still hear the sound of the whipping wind outside, but not having it immediately on your skin and in your ears is an immediate relief. So, as consecutive travel made it more difficult, if you guys take an hour to find shelter and rest, that will reset the DC for the Constitution saving throws for continuing travel. So every consecutive hour of travel, it gets harder to stave off exhaustion. If you find a place to rest for an hour, it resets that back down to the beginning.
Sweet. I guess we've an hour? Question mark.
Yeah. So you guys can take a short rest here. And looking around, there are scattered items and things left behind from whoever may have been here last. You can see a number of whetstones, some empty sheaths and quivers. What are you guys doing?
You said there was empty sheaves and quivers?
Yeah.
It looks like this outpost was dedicated to more of a war effort, a battle. Much different from the last one.
It doesn't look like anyone's used this in quite some time. Svenkrid, being the least seeming affected by the weather, begins to go through things as all of you catch your breaths and take a seat and rub your arms and shoulders for warmth. He looks around and, well, I can't seem to find anything that might be more telling, but at least from what we heard back in Talendor, it seems like control of frost breath would be pivotal for a war between the two sides of Draconia. So I think it makes sense that we are to find places like this here.
Do you think it looks the same as the other place, or is this like the other sides? I mean, I don't know how to. The chromatic? What?
According to the chart that Lord Fang had given us, we are still, well, some time away from reaching the other side of Frostbreath, the other bridge that would lead to where, I guess historically, the chromatic dragonborn were to live. We're but a few hours away from the other bridge. I would suspect this would have still been metallic, but I can't be sure. I find it would be interesting to see if the chromatics had set up a base this close to the metallic homeland.
You know, we could be bears. Do you guys want to be bears? Maybe bears would be better. I like the snow, but this is a little too. I'm cold.
I'll take out the other cape again and just wrap it around Elevine. Try to give more extra warmth.
Sorry.
Unless you were gonna be bears that had cold resistance, it wouldn't be any different.
Arctic
Polar
bear.
bears.
Polar bears.
I mean, I didn't see any animals. I heard wolves, but I didn't see them, so I can't.
Well, I mean, we have snow back in Abbeville also, and the wolves over there are living in the forest still during the winter, aren't they? I mean, so they could handle it if we turn into wolves.
I believe that's a bit different in comparison to wolves that actually live in the cold at all points of time.
Could this be some sort of like maybe? It seems like it's also like a magically, like enforced winter.
Yes,
right?
this is definitively
So
due to the effects of the the frozen tyrant.
Yeah, there you go.
Well,
I suppose
my
his title deserves.
From last night too. What was that?
Oh, I was just saying his title is deserved.
So we have a few options. It looks like we can either try our luck as polar bears. We can keep doing what we've been doing, or Elevorn could try to heat the weather around us and possibly cause other people to take notice.
I believe that is stationary, though, isn't it?
It's a 5-mile radius around her. It does not move with her, though. Yeah.
Oh.
It would give you guys 5 miles of travel, which would probably be 2 hours worth.
And for her to be able to use her magics to change us, she would have to see the animal. I don't believe we've happened upon any creatures thus far.
Not to mention, if it would be some bear kind of thing, then I haven't noticed any bears traveling in groups usually, so that could raise some suspicions if somebody would see us.
I'd be surprised if I were to see anybody out here. I would consider that suspicious.
Well, if we could see the wolves, there are wolves over here, so those are somewhat common, I think. So I would imagine that people wouldn't be too surprised to see them. But I'd rather not go out there and try to find a wolf for Elevorn to see.
Even so, I don't believe wolves would be making long, day-long journeys. If they're out and about, it's probably just a hunt and then return to the warmth of their dens, no?
Probably, since we are talking about the weather over here. Then again, I'm not fully sure how they do it back in home either.
About an hour passes and you guys eat some food, drink some water, get the warmth back about you. Those with exhaustion, you still have it until you take a long rest. But like you said, you're anywhere from, according to Era, 1 to 5 hours away from the base of these foothills. It's up to you when and how you want to continue.
I mean, I think we should continue and push a little bit more. But I don't know the odds of finding another place to take refuge, really.
If we are at worst, you said about halfway there, maybe we could settle in for the evening here. Let us just fully recover. We don't need to push ourselves to the absolute extremes every day. I don't believe the Draconians gave us a time frame, so whether this takes us a few more days or not, as long as we're able to make the trek, I think that's all that matters.
I wish it felt that way for me. But I understand. I think we have to be smart about this. Yeah, maybe we should rest and not risk.
I am strictly speaking on behalf of the rest of you, although you can speak for yourselves. I guess, I should not have as much a say in this. This weather does not affect me as much as it does the rest of you.
I would be okay to continue, but seeing as two already are pretty exhausted, I think maybe we should just rest. And maybe even the weather would be even better tomorrow, but I don't know. Hopefully, but...
We were lucky Elevon and Hastelos were able to find this place. I just would not wish to be out there and be in a place unable that does not have a shelter, or at least be unable to find one. So maybe while we are here, we should utilize it.
I agree. We'll take our time. It's better to be safer than sorry.
Well, I mean,
Agreed.
besides, I was going to say the other thing is that, like, I don't know if the armies here are better trained than we are to withstand this, but this is pretty brutal.
Well, if they're white dragon bone, then they will probably have a similar to Sven's capabilities in this weather.
Speaking of white dragonborn, there mention of a clan here?
Yeah.
A clan that does not belong, it does not seem to the Draconians. I assume similar in how yours were, Durant, although it seems like these are a touch more aggressive.
You put it like that.
It seemed like they were having issues with Talendor.
I heard mention of that as well in the inn.
I wonder if they have ties to our frozen tyrant, or if they're acting on their own.
If they were like my clan, then I can only assume that they know of the tyrant, but probably didn't have too many dealings with him. But probably not likely in these circumstances.
I see. Well, we should get our rest then. Elevon, you cooking for everyone again?
Yeah.
Alright. 6 more pounds of food, please. Go ahead and everybody take your long rests. Spell slots restored. Everybody that has at least 1 point of exhaustion can take off 1 point of exhaustion. And I believe that should just bring everyone back to fine. The blizzard intensity of winds keeps up throughout the night, till it just becomes white noise, occasionally being pierced with the howling of wolves. That is what you find yourselves falling asleep to this evening. The next day starts. You guys wake up, get some food in your bellies. What are you doing? Svengrid gets his rolling up his sleeping bag and strapping it to his pack that he slings over his back. Alright, are we just braving the wilds again, or do we have another plan with how to continue?
If we were going to make it a bit warmer for us in the area, it'd be probably better to do it further out than closer in. A little bit less riskier, I would believe.
So now or later?
Probably now.
Okay.
Alright, so how long does the casting... So what are you doing, Elevon?
I'm going to begin casting Control Weather. It takes about 10 minutes.
You have to do it outside, don't you?
Yeah.
So Elevon heads outside, sits down in the snow, builds a small snowman, maybe. And you begin to cast Control Weather. After about 10 minutes, the casting of the spell completes. You can see a silvery white beam of light, just barely perceptible, extends from Elevon herself in a sort of cylinder around her up to the clouds above. And as the casting complete, the gray of the clouds in a sort of wave centered on Elevon gets just the slightest bit lighter. Elevon, could you go ahead and roll a d4, please?
It's a 2.
2? Immediately, after having focused on the weather itself, what it is, and what you want it to be, and extending and channeling your world through your magic to the very skies themselves, no immediate change. But slowly, surely, the winds begin to die down a little bit over the course of the next 20 minutes. The cold lightens up ever so slightly. It's still cold. It's still windy. But it's more in line with the winters that you are used to in the Empire, and not these blizzard-like conditions. So, as you guys travel, now a bit more comfortably, the next 2 hours, due to Elevorn's spell, nobody has to make any checks. But it begins to get apparent as you get to the edge of that 5-mile radius, because you can even see almost like that line, that barrier where the effect of your spell ends and what you had changed it from continues, Elevorn. However, at the end of the second hour travel, you guys find yourselves coming up on the foothills. And according to the chart that you have and Lord Fang's instruction, if you follow these until they become a mountain range, that is the direction that you're supposed to travel to get to the next bridge and to the homeland of the chromatic dragonborn. You hear more sounds of howling coming from up the hills and beyond them. Could our two survivalists make another survival check, please? 8?
No, I said yeet.
Oh, okay.
Yeet. Yeah, yeet.
Yeet. I hope I don't roll an 8, please. I rolled a little better than an 8 and 11.
20.
20, Elevorn?
No, it's 19.
19. You have proficiency in survival, Nerdio? Who said 20?
Oh, no. I heard wrong. Never mind.
Gotcha. Well, either way, 19 works as well. Elevorn, as you all reach the foothills and you look towards up the hills, not wanting to climb any hills because that's, climbing a hill, but you can follow along. The plan is to follow along the base of the hills until you get to the mountain, the mountain range. But you see something in the hills on one of the sides before it slopes up too steeply. They look like tracks. Not of any animal you've ever seen or are familiar with. In fact, not like any animal at all. They look like humanoid tracks. Although faint at this point, as if they have been here and for some days and have begun to get covered up and erased.
Wait, these look like barefoot human tracks, or what are we talking about? Or like boots?
Boots.
Okay. How big are they?
Much larger than yours. As far as feet go.
I found some big feet over here.
Actually,
found feet?
A little bit of retcon. I found feet, yeah.
I found feet.
Not boots. Not boots. But it looks like, like you said, kind of like bare feet, but not human.
Some kind of psychos out there without shoes on. I don't know. How big are you? I'm like looking at everybody. Has everybody got boots on?
Last time I checked, it's like lifting up one of my legs.
Yep. You still have your boots on. They haven't been stolen from you.
Could these be the Dragonborn?
Dragonborn tend to not wear.
That is what it appears. As Elevon, you are comparing feet. The two Dragonborn in the party do have the size width that most compares to the tracks that you had seen.
I mean, what brave people have no shoes on in this weather?
Are we able to surmise how far they could have been, how many days out, how close they might be to us by the tracks that we're seeing? Yeah.
No, I don't know how would tracks left by somebody tell you how close they currently are to you.
How fresh they are? Because if it's snowing a lot, wouldn't it fade faster? So
yeah.
So like I said, they're pretty faded, and it's only even seen. It's not like a full set of tracks.
Okay.
Okay.
It's like a few steps left that have survived this far. You can sort of see where they're like half footprints that have started to get covered, and basically it's only a few steps that have survived, and it's just because Elevon rolled so well that you even saw it.
Oh, wow.
Definitely by the point of the foot, they're heading up the hill, away from the way that you had traveled and away from Talendor and further into the heart of Frostbreath. It's not directly the path that you were planning on taking. as you were not planning on climbing any hills.
Okay. But are we planning to follow those footsteps or go around?
It's up to you guys.
Yes. I do want to mention, I can always disguise us to look like White Dragonborn. I don't know how good that'll hold, but there's an option. We want to blend in with the potential enemy.
That's an interesting ability. How long?
8 hours. It will. Oh, I believe, yeah. 8 hours on any number of creatures that I can see within range. As long as they're willing.
Okay.
I could do it. I could do it if they're unwilling, but it's a DC check apparently. Yeah.
You guys don't have to follow it. You can if you want.
Up to you guys. This is a democracy, I think.
I think.
Usually. Sure. Why not? I'm down for it.
Okay.
What? Anybody else? Anybody else's thoughts? What do you guys think?
So how fresh did the prints look?
Faded.
Or were they feet? Feet?
Feet.
Feetsies.
They got
Somebody got lost their feet.
Well, this would be really our only chance to kind of see if we find any other steps. It might lead to somewhere, might not, but any longer they'll just fade. I'm down for the opportunity.
Yeah, maybe it's not best to risk it. So, yeah, I'm down with it.
All right. So you guys begin the trek up the hill. At this point, you have exited the area of affected weather by Elevorn, and the blizzardous conditions have returned. So, Ella, Neri, Era, Astalos. Constitution saving throws against the cold, please.
Oh, did everybody agree to the seaman cast, or? No, I just want to make sure.
Were you going to do that like right now? You think they're waiting in ambush at the top of the hill, or what's the plan?
I have no idea. I just
I mean, it lasts 8 hours.
It lasts 8 hours, I mean.
Well, it's concentration?
Nope.
No? Oh.
Yeah.
You did. But I am down with it.
Just a level 5 spell slot, you know.
It is.
Kind of you to be so willing.
Yeah. Alright, so I guess I'll do that, and I'll do the con save.
Okay. So you all appear as white dragonborn variants of yourselves.
That's weird.
You look the same, but white now.
Yeah. It's a dream come true. Please do me next.
Oh my god.
God.
I rolled a 20. God damn.
It's a 22 for the con save.
Era, Elevorn?
11. Oh. I have a question, though.
Yes.
If, let's say, I use a cantrip to use a fire ability and activate flames at Phlegethos, would that help me because I'm on fire?
No.
Damn it. Okay, well, I tried.
Flames of one, it doesn't last. It's not like an instantaneous thing. It's not like this is, oh, just one time I'm good.
Over the time.
I protected myself for 30 seconds, so I'm good for the hour.
It keeps me warm for those 30 seconds. It's amazing.
With a certain.
The weirdest thing
Is
about
this affected by? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
the weirdest thing about the flames is it doesn't have a duration
No,
in its
I think
description.
it's like instant, or if something hits me,
If something hits you, it goes away.
Yeah.
It's until the start or end of her next turn, I thought.
It doesn't say it. I mean, that makes sense.
Which
But
flame
it does. She has a feature for tieflings specifically called Flames of Plathegos. When she casts any fire spells at all, she gets surrounded in fire, and if something hits her, she does damage to it.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
It also,
I also had a
sheds light.
fear.
Does thaumaturgy affect the saving throws?
It like makes it brighter, I think, at best, but not.
Thaumaturgy?
No,
Isn't
What are you
that?
talking about?
It would affect.
Thaumaturgy?
Yeah, if flames of.
Oh no, I think that's only for intimidation, right?
Says
Never mind.
Yeah.
wreath you until the end of your next turn. It says it right there. I don't know why Dice Cloud is wrong, but it's.
Oh, maybe I didn't read it all the way through.
Maybe not.
Baby
so
now.
Elavon, Constitution saving throw, please.
21.
21. Okay, you're all good. You make it to the top of the hill. No white dragonborn are laying in wait. Looking around, there are a few trees sparsely laid around, but they're all withered, thin. Doesn't seem like they've seen green in, well, probably ever. Looking around from the top of the hill, you can see the rolling hills beyond, all covered in snow and ice. You can see the silhouette of mountains in the distance, but unable to get any good detailed view of them due to the snow and wind. You didn't see any tracks. You only saw those few tracks that had led up in this direction. Since climbing to the top, you haven't seen any, but you also haven't looked, so... as far as you can see, there's no, signs of anyone having lived up here or anywhere that you can see. It looks like it was just the path that they had traveled to get back to wherever they were going. That place, nowhere within eyesight. So what are you guys doing? Well, how far are we planning on following this direction? As it seems like it would take us pretty much certainly away from where we are headed. At least the tracks, they're not leading to where the good Lord's charts say the bridge is.
Maybe we could just make a note on the map that we saw, tracks heading off in this direction. Approximately. Because, do we want to go fight with people right now? Or do we think that they wouldn't fight? I know that we... What is our goal if we find people?
That is a good question.
My goal was just making sure we don't get attacked and intel gathering. Potentially.
I think it would be fair to note that we saw tracks here, because it would be, I think that would be probably good enough. If we go, were we supposed to remove all danger? Or, I'm not saying I'm not shying away from a fight exactly, but if we,
I don't believe so. I think we are just meant to ensure that the trek was possible, that getting from Talendor back to the other, back to the wing was in fact possible. And nothing more. Lord Fang had even said, if we ran into danger, not necessarily wouldn't need to deal with it, but to make note of it. If we couldn't deal with it or wouldn't. They just need to know that if they were to make preparations to move an army across, that it was possible and not in vain. So I guess we're just kind of the forward scouting party, if as it were.
It would be wise to make note of the wolves, too. I mean, they didn't approach us, but it doesn't mean that, more noise wouldn't draw them closer.
That is true.
Yep.
I mean,
right.
I don't really do the whole writing and drawing stuff, so is somebody doing that, or I didn't really ask anybody.
I can do it.
And also, what were you saying, Astalos?
Oh, no. Nothing. Just hanging around.
Well,
no, I'm kidding. No, I really wasn't. I wasn't saying anything. It was just my mic must have kicked up.
So as you guys stand atop the hill, Svenkrid is looking around. Rolling perception for him. It seems like he sees something and begins to head off towards a tree on the hilltop. As you watch him and look to where he's going, it looks like there's an area of the ground where the snow had been cleared and has since been starting to get covered again. There's like a light dusting of snow atop a mound of dirt.
I'm still trying because it's kind of hard to hold in hand in this cold weather. And the ink. And the ink.
Standing back to back with people to shield against the wind. Huddled over, drawing stuff. Now's the time to do it.
Of course, because
Alvorn is kind of hesitatingly sort of looking in Sven's direction, kind of wondering if maybe nature called,
Nature calls, yes.
He didn't say anything, he just walked away. So it's like, do I give him privacy? Do I keep an eye on him? I'm conflicted.
Alright. He gets to where he's at and kneels down and seems to be investigating something before standing back up and dusting his hand off. He comes back. I don't think it's wise that we just stand up here doing, nothing. We should carry on in some direction.
What did you see?
It seemed like, I don't want to assume, but something buried there. Fairly recently, it seems the earth had not yet become hard with ice. It could be item something, but it bore a resemblance more than to a gravesite.
Oh.
Okay.
Whatever it was, or whoever is buried there was done so recently.
Mm.
But there's no way to be sure of what it is without, finding out. But, personally, I'm not too comfortable with that.
I don't think it's necessary.
Well, are we trying to track down this clan of Dragonborn? This clan of White Dragonborn, or are we continuing on the path?
If we were to encounter them, we're best equipped at the moment.
That is true. But is it worth it?
And how much longer, how much further in are they? We have no ideas. Though, if we were to find where they stay, that would be more useful information to relay back to our Lord Feng and Night River.
That's what I'm
Especially if these White Dragonborn were to give them troubles and would potentially give them more trouble in the future. We are just beyond perhaps a day's travel into Frostbreath, depending on how big this is, and from where the dragon's influence stems. It could get worse the further in we go.
Could we make another survival check to see if we find more tracks or any other clues on where the Dragonborn are, to see if it's worth continuing on or not?
Go for it.
Okay. Whee! I rolled a 19.
19?
Yeah.
So going close to, there are two areas where something or someone must have been. The direct path of the tracks, maybe, and this area around where Sven had found that burial, the grave is what it seems. Going around and looking for fresh tracks, anything, you see a glint of light. And going over and uncovering and dusting it off, you pick up a draconian gold piece that was just ever so slightly uncovered from the snow. It seemed like it had fallen, was dropped, left behind. Doesn't look too tarnished. It seems like doesn't look old by any means. But you had found it on basically the far side of the hill. So, as if continuing deeper into Frostbreath.
Okay. So that's money, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's money. And you remember you overheard the soldiers in the inn talking about how these White Dragonborn had raided the town, stole some stuff from their barracks.
Yeah. Very true. This could be that. A gold piece. This could very well lead us to the Dragonborn that raided our barracks, that we overheard the soldiers talking about in the inn.
A piece to the puzzle, yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully many more to come if we're going to be tracking them down.
I would hope so. But something that would be very valuable to our efforts if we were to march down soldiers down this path in the future.
Well, as I said, the soldiers would not be taking this path. They would not be going this deep into Frostbreath, but if we were to continue and track down These white dragonborn, I would advise caution. They know this place much better than we, and are much better equipped. If we were to find signs of them, even with these disguises, I say we just make a note of where they are and do our best not to confront them. Do you have any clue as to the size of this clan, Astalos? Regardless,
Not that I've heard.
I feel like they would vastly outnumber us, even if it were a small dragonborn clan.
I don't think conflict is exactly what we're looking for.
Yeah. Intel is more what I'm looking for, specifically.
If they were anything like my clan, maybe they could be convinced one way or another.
It would be a boon to our efforts if we were able to recruit them to our aid, to our cause.
I imagine it would greatly differ depending on whether they are aligned with the White Dragon, but it's something that's been on my mind ever since you mentioned their tribe. Not something I thought of.
A detour deeper into Frostbreath, then. Either way, we should not stand idly by up here. Let's get the blood flowing again. If this is what we are going to do, let's do it. So, you guys continuing further in? A detour from the previous path, real quick, to maybe try to track down and find, perhaps even talk to and sway this clan of white dragonborn? Yes, no, maybe so.
Yeah, that is kind of what I'm thinking.
All right. So, taking a sharp left turn. As you guys continue and begin to make your way down the snow-embanked hill and continuing through these rolling foothills, I need those who need to make another Constitution saving throw against the cold. Neridion, Era, Astalos, Elavorn. That's another hour of travel, now deeper into Frostbreath, into an area where the chart given to you by Lord Fank does not help as much. You could see that the area that was actually in any way well charted was really just kind of like along the coastline, the area that the Dragonborn would use to go from one landmass to the other. Anywhere deeper in is pretty unknown, even to the Draconians.
Well, I rolled a nat 20. Let's go.
Nice.
23.
Okay.
15.
All right, everyone. Era, what do you got?
15 too.
All right. Everyone's good. These strong constitutions from everyone. So, as you're making your way up another hill, Neridion, this time you find and uncover a gold piece. I'm telling you,
Ooh, shiny.
Take note of it, and it seems like you're on the right path. As you climb that next hill, it's almost like breadcrumbs in a way. You're finding gold piece after gold piece until you reach the top of the hill, and there, just sat in the snow, were two large sacks of coins. Just seemingly left and abandoned, partially buried in the snow.
That's a trap. It has to be a trap.
Well, we'll figure that out next time.
Good thing we have a rogue on the party. Detect those traps.
Definitely a trap. Obvious trap. As I plan out, whatever this might be. Nope, just something else entirely.
This is the old piece of candy trick.
Yeah.
Ooh, piece of candy.
Did I throw you in for a loop?
Didn't think about it, honestly.
Come on, you can't have... Look, you brought this upon yourself. Alright?
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
Mm-mm.
You had Sven say,
Nope.
a clan. Like, your clan. And then, of course, why would I make the relation? Of course no, I want to see if they're similar.
Did I?
Yeah,
No,
you did this.
I don't think so.
Yeah, you did this.
I should have been aware of it. You guys are like, we're so gung-ho. We're so impatient. There's no time. We have to go. This is important. We have no time to waste. No time. Push hard. Let's do it. We have to do this. Ooh, shiny. Let's do something else now.
No. It's all part of the same effort. It's part of the same effort. This is it's not exactly what was told to us, but when the hell do we ever do exactly what's told to us?
Yeah. Hey, we wasted all our brain cells beating the bridge, okay? Like
The brain cells froze already.
Yeah, all the brain cells are frozen.
All 2 of them.
Look, man, I gotta save them, bro. If they're savable.
Okay.
You gotta save us.
That sounds like we're not. That sounds like we're like they're not savable.
Okay.
Are we gonna be the ones in need of saving instead? Who knows?
Just fireball.
Just fireball.
Yeah, just fireball the coins, That'll get rid of the trap.
Oh, true.
We'll see. I guess I gotta just make some weird... I gotta just take, Because the thing is, I've got this... You can think of it like a string.
Yeah.
Right? You follow the string from one end to the other. And like, this happens here, 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 here. And now it's like, okay, I could put this side over here and then I kind of fold the string a little bit and it could still work. And what I had planned to do over here can do that with this now. And then I'm just left with a giant knot, but it still functions. It's still technically a storyline, but everything just gets jumbled together and it's okay. It's my job to now unjumble things, which is perfectly fine. It's perfectly okay because this is the nature of the game in the world. Exist.
Sweet.
And just because you guys want to explore it before I had, laid out and thought that, you guys would, it's not a problem. That's just how things work. Because when I plan, I basically plan like things are on rails, right? That's kind of what I have to do. Because if you guys just follow the story beats and follow what's put in front of you, I know what's going to happen and when things are going to happen and how things are going to happen. If you decide to go off of that path, then I have to, rethink things, and that's perfectly fine.
That's okay.
Because, yeah, they exist. They're somewhere out there. You know that for sure. So if you guys want to go find them, you're free to go try. Because apparently, the quickest, most direct form of travel wasn't hard enough for you guys. So we gotta add some extra pit stops off the beaten path. It's too easy to travel through this place is what you're telling me. That's what I'm hearing, is that it's not scary enough. Dissuade you from going. It's not scary enough to dissuade you from going deeper.
Look, on a
It's
personal...
gonna make the con saves 20. That's what it's gonna do.
Oh my god.
Immediate exhaustion.
Look, the con saves, I don't know them. I didn't have to do them.
You gave me
Must
a
be
piece like
nice.
3 years ago, bro. This is also your fault.
No.
Yes.
Okay, sorry. It is not my fault that Durand does not care about the well-being of his companions. That's not my
nobody is expressly, and yes, I do. I wasted.
fault.
I wasted.
Wasted.
Oh my god! I used.
Oh man.
Wow, I'm here about to thank you. You know what?
Nope,
I
fucking
used. Oh my god! My
wasted on you,
terminology.
Era.
My bad.
Wasted on you.
Yeah, earlier I said
Next time
throated.
I'll make sure we all
throated
freeze
neck.
to death.
Earlier I said throated neck. Okay, man. All right. So my words are all jumbled.
Mm-hmm.
I consumed, I expended spell slots for the well-being of somebody.
That piece of shit. I mean, Era,
Wow.
same thing, really. Interjecting. I confused words.
You
said
did.
No, that's
I
was stepping in for you. I was
My
stepping in
words
for
are
you.
being put in my mouth.
Yep, exactly. My words, your words, as you said. Those are your words.
No, these words are being put into my mouth.
I just wasted it on this little. What did you call them? The weak ones in the party.
No,
right? That's what you said. I think those were your words.
The weaklings.
Yeah, the weaklings.
I don't know where.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I'm just put a footnote here. Return to this part of this later. No, that's good. That's good. So I've been excited for the White Dragonborn actually for a while, and I've been looking forward to them. So if you want to force me to, if you want to force that,
Here you go.
if you want to force that,
Let's do it.
You're welcome.
I'm good. Okay. Well, I'll see you guys next time.
Next time.
Good night.
Good night.
All you useless weaklings. I mean friends. Same thing. Alright, see you guys.
Come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god.
You got him. Yeah, I was gonna dig up the shit out of that grave, but I'm like, that's
Really?
not in my character.
That's
I'm
funny.
like, that's not.
You're like, loot that body.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Loot that body. We need a cardio, bro. Give me loot that body. Loot that body.
Oh my god, playing the flute while I'm looting that dead body.
I should have just made it in character, like, it's worth investigating this. How very odd that they just.
You can't do that. Sometimes your character can seep, like sometimes your personality can seep to your character, whether you like to or not. It happens.
Fuck. Yo, he said like it looks like there's maybe items. They're like items.
There could be shit. Now we'll never know, bro.
I mean, we'll find out next time, bro. Maybe we could be like, yo, let's backtrack to that body.
Backtrack another hour.
That's how far we traveled out? Damn.
Yeah, time is hard to keep up with sometimes.